and welcome to my channel. My name is Hannah and I am congested. You can hear it, we all know it. I feel okay. I feel well enough to actually film. I have been under the weather, but I feel better enough to film. And that's what we're doing today. And we're also holding me accountable, which is why I'm clutching onto my mug for comfort and dear life. Today we're going to talk about all the books that I bought in 2025. The short answer of, did I read all the books I bought in 2025? Is no. But the longer answer doesn't sound too bad if we look at the stats. So we're going to do stats first. And then when I go through the list, then you can judge me. So, in 2025, I have read 65 books and I've bought 53 books. So we're already in a deficit. Love that for me. Some of those books that I read were library books or audio books and therefore weren't these books. Of the 53 books that I bought, I've read 16 of them. I've DNF'd or unhauled 7 of them. And we'll get into that in a sec. 3 of them are on my Patreon TBR, so I will finish them by the end of this year. So we'll count them as read in lieu of, essentially. 2 were replacements for books that I had read either as like a library book or an audio book and I wanted a physical copy. So in total, added to my TBR is 25 books, which actually is not too bad considering, like I said, I've read 65 books. Now, yes, some of those were audiobooks or library books. Others were just books that were already on my TBR. So I don't think that math is hurting me too badly. I think we can get away with that. Let's get into the books that I bought and read. So in January, I bought The Knife of Never Letting Go, The Ask and the Answer, and Monsters of Men by Patrick Ness as a trilogy, and then read as part of a read-along with Abby, Becca, Olivia, Emma was there, Ali might have been there too, I may be misremembering. But as a read-along, we read all 3 books of this traumatizing trilogy, trickier to say than you'd think, and I loved it. It was such a great series, absolutely would recommend, 10 out of 10. I also bought I Feed It to the Beast and the Beast Is Me as the seasonal Patreon pick. Didn't love that one, but I did read it. I also bought in January Queen Macbeth, The Darkland Tales, which is the Val McDermid's Queen Macbeth, which you will have seen. I read as part of a vlog. Didn't love it, but I have read it. I also got Bat Eater as my Evernight pick. People do seem to really like it. I am seriously considering cancelling my Evernight subscription. Please leave in the comments down below whether I need to do that or not, because the books of theirs that I've read, I've not enjoyed. But I like the fact that it gives me the perk of being able to pre-order books, like pre-releases of their like fancy editions. Books that I read and then unhauled or attempted, DNF'd, etc. is Nothing Left to Fear from Hell, which is another Darkland Tales. I've just realised Columbia's Bones is behind me. I've put this down as DNF'd or unhauled and I haven't. So this is still on my TBR. The TBR is officially 26. Your girl doesn't know what she's talking about. It was a messy month. I'm trying to like mentally check this list off. I can tell you for free, I have not read any of the books that I bought in Feb, which is a great start. So in Feb, I bought The Wild Robot 1, 2 and 3. Haven't read them yet. I bought Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Haven't read it yet. I bought The Treehouse Club and then unhauled The Treehouse Club, which brings it back to 25. The spreadsheet's a mess. I'm really disappointed that I didn't do this more thoroughly before I started this. And then I bought Pod by Lillian Poole. I then also bought The Baby Dragon Cafe. I read less than 2 chapters and thought, this isn't good. This is not a well-written book. I am not enjoying this. This is cozy to the point of twee, and I already don't believe the premise. Literally, she is in debt because she can't control dragons that like come and visit her cafe, but she's going to train someone else's dragon for money to save the cafe that dragons have destroyed. the straws, they were clutched. Okay, I did slightly better in March. I bought Fahrenheit 451, which was a Patreon pick. Loved it. Read that, loved it. I also bought the Tropic of Serpents, a memoir by Lady Trent. Bought it, read it, loved it. And then I got the Tea Dragon Society slipcase. So technically there is only the third book in that. This is one of the replacement ones. I bought this as a bundle as opposed to like different sized copies, which is what I had originally, and it was a whole thing. So I've read the first two, need to read the next one. Technically only one book on my TBR, not three. And the book that I haven't read yet that I bought in March is Murder at Gold's Nest, which is by an author called Jess Kidd, who I've spoken about before on this channel. She was one of my lecturers during my undergrad. She is brilliant. She also wrote Things in Jars, which is a far more like gothic murder mystery. This one just feels like it's going to be like a fun coastal time. So it's a kind of like, it's in lieu, it's on the TBR. We'll get there. We will get there. I only bought 2 books in April. That was it. And I think that's a personal best. One of them, I didn't even like buy, but like got it as like a subscription box. So I got The Staircase in the Woods, which is the next Evernight. Did I say Nevernight earlier? I might have done. The next Evernight Illumicrate box. I immediately unhauled it because Ali wanted it. And I was happy for Ali to have it. I couldn't have cared about it less. And I also bought Until We Shatter by Kate Dillon because I was supposed to get a copy prior to doing like a live stream with them like a year and a half ago. Didn't get my copy. So when I was in Toppings in Bath, bought myself a swanky edition. So I've got a signed Toppings edition of that now and I'm very excited to read it. Personal best. I bought 1 book in May and it was The Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, which I gave 5 stars. Loved it. Didn't read it in May, but did read it. Have read that book. So good. And it really makes me question, do I need to do a Grady Hendrix read along? Because some of their books slap. And then other books of his don't. And I don't know. I don't know where I stand with it. It really is a hit and miss. And I'm like, do I need to try all of them so I know exactly which ones I like and which ones I don't? I don't know. Maybe. July was not a good month for book buying and reading. Not because I bought loads, but because I hated everything. So the one book that I bought and loved was a give me, really, because I bought A Heart Full of Hatred by Derek Landy and loved it because it's a skullduggery pleasant book. Of course I loved it. Of course I did. As if that's even a question. I also bought The Eye's the Best Part, which the front cover grossed me out. I didn't want it on my shelves. I unhauled it. I DNF'd Unhallowed Halls, which is a Patreon read. Again, so twee, so tropey, hated it. And The Thorns, which was another Patreon pick that I also hated. So we're doing well. We're doing really, really well. I am going to go more into why I didn't like these books when I do my Patreon wrap up, but dear God, they were not good. August I got paid and I wasn't expecting to be paid because I was moving from one job to the next and I was moving house. So I had slightly more money than I was expecting. And apparently I spent that on books. Are we surprised? No. So I bought Graveyard Shift by ML Rio. Loved it. 5 stars. I bought the Sworn Soldier sequel, What Feast at Night, having already read the first one, What Moves It As. Loved it. I bought Phantom of the Opera as a Patreon pick. And that is just drama. Which shouldn't really be a surprise because I feel like it's a drama, like, club type favourite. Theatre kid vibe. But even so, it was a lot. I enjoyed it. I think I've kept it. I may have unhauled it. But I read it. And it was a time. And I also bought and read Catabasis by R.F. Kuang and loved that one as well. I gave that one 4 stars. I bought volume 5 and 6 of Lore Olympus and haven't read them yet because for some reason this year I've just bought loads of graphic novels and then just put them to one side. It's almost like I can feel another TBR challenge brewing and therefore I need to keep them for that. Which is just silly, but it's how I feel at the moment. I also bought Spy Family volume 6 And I nearly bought volume 7 as well, but I restrained myself. I bought The Bewitching by Silva Moreno Garcia with every intention of reading it for Gothtober, and then read like nothing for Gothtober, so didn't get to that. And I also bought Witches Abroad by Terry Pratchett because I'm working my way through that series. I keep buying the fancy editions every time I finished one, and it just feels like a nice little treat for me to buy myself these books. So again, I feel like that was a give me. I'm going to read it eventually. I just didn't read it this year. I only bought 2 books in September, and technically they were pre-orders, so I didn't spend any money in September, but 2 books arrived in September. One was the exclusive edition of Impossible Fortune by Richard Osman. This is the fifth, had to check, the 5th book in the Thursday Murder Club series, which they're such cozy, fun mysteries I'm really, really here for. And I also bought The Thief of Night, which no one is talking about because everyone hated Book of Night. I think except for me. There was just something about it I enjoyed. I don't know if it's just that actually, like, Holly Black, it scratches my brain in a way that I quite like. I don't know. It wasn't good, but I had a good time, if that makes sense. Like, the characters were messy, it was dark, it was spooky, it wasn't quite gothic, it wasn't quite horror. I'm so congested I sound like I'm holding my breath. So anyway, I bought the book. And I'll let you know if I prefer the sequel. October, apparently, was another really big book buying month, and I can only assume this was because my book buying increased as my book reading dropped in October. So I bought quite a few Stephen Graham Jones books. No regrets, none whatsoever. I adore this author. So I bought The Buffalo Hunter, which I had to double check was the actual title because that's such a silly title. But The Buffalo Hunter. I bought The Only Good Indians, which I've already read, so it doesn't count. Killer on the Road, which looks sick. Mongrels, The Babysitter Lives, and I also bought their most recent short story, which is Mapping the Interior. So a couple of years ago, I did a reading every book that I can get my hands on of Stephen Graham Jones, like a taste test type thing, and loved it. So it is inevitable that I'm going to probably do something similar again and just clear that TBR or do that as a read along. Maybe that'll be the next Gothic along, is every Stephen Graham Jones book. So good. No regrets. Haven't read any of them. I haven't read any of them yet, except for the ones that I've already read. I have Brother on my TBR for Patreon, which I bought in October. And I also bought and read The Monk, which people warned me this Gothic book was going to be wild. But I don't think anyone who hasn't read the book can truly understand. Because the first bit, the first 98%, so majority, just feels like a classic build-up horror of classic literature. It reads almost like The Three Musketeers, of multiple perspectives going on adventures, but one of the perspectives is horrendous. He's just not a good man. And then he gets his comeuppance, and my god, what a roller coaster. Again, there will be more in my Patreon wrap-up video. Oh my god. I actually quite enjoyed it. It was great. And then I bought another Derek Landy, which I've not read yet, A Small Matter of Impending Catastrophe. I know it'll be 5 stars because it's Derek Landy, and again, it just feels like an automatic win. I'm really excited to read it. So this brings us to my November book buying. I bought Lucky Day by Chuck Tingle because it's another horror author I am obsessed with. I bought The Inheritance Games because that is our November pick for Patreon. I bought Chain Gang All Stars because this is a Patreon seasonal read, and I also bought We Have Always Lived in a Castle because that is a seasonal read that I missed around the August time that I was supposed to get on, but there was a whole thing with Patreon. It's a whole thing. My patrons are on board. We're all up to date, and that's what matters. I still need to read We've Always Lived in the Castle. I have read Chain Gang All Stars. I also got Brigands and Bread Knives, the special edition, which again did not pay for in November, but arrived in November. Another pre-order, another special edition. Very, very pretty. And the last book that I have bought. I am not allowed to buy books in December because people buy me books in December. The list is long. I appreciate the list is long, but considering where she was a couple of years ago, my book buying has changed. There is no way that my reading challenge that I did with Olivia, not this year, but the year before last, hasn't made a massive dent in my reading and the way that I pick books. I am very much leaning into gothic and horror. I read a few romances. The top end of this year was a very contemporary heavy year, which was great because I cleared a lot of books from my TBR, even just by trying them and then removing them, or trying them and loving them and then buying more books from that author, or putting them on a wish list from that author. Like, things like that. It has made a difference. There have been a few books that I've like paid for postage over this year and I've either read or not kept or whatever. Like, they've been quite transient. So my TBR vets have increased, but again, not substantially and not enough for it to be like relevant to this. These are all brand new books that I've bought that I'm like, should have read because I spent good money on those. Considering I'm officially a full-time teacher again and like have moved house, with loads going on with like my play and yes, moving and life stuff and everything else, multiple vet trips, thinking I was going to lose my cat, like my car being wrecked, like just, it's been a turbulent year. I feel like I could have absolutely relied on some retail therapy more than I have, especially when it comes to my book buying. I think I've been pretty good not to. And I've also been pretty good with my pack or pass not to just get rid of books that I've just bought to replace them when I get here. I haven't, you'll notice, replaced my Heartstopper yet, all the other things that I said that I was going to like mix and match with. So I'm proud of myself. I don't know if that bar is too low, but I am proud of myself. I'm proud that I have at least half of the books engaged with that I've bought this year. And that is still whilst ticking off other books that were already on my TBR, etc. So I think we can call that a win. Right? Like, we can call that a win. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below, is there a new release coming in 2026 that you're really excited for? I will continue to spend my money on books and not feel bad about it. If you just want to let me know you were here, feel free to leave a book emoji in the comments down below. Treat yourself to something from Waypoint Books because it supports me and my content. Check out the links down below because I have a Patreon now, but most importantly, have a nice day.